Dear Diary, did you know that I suffer from coulrophobia? Well, I do. It's a fear of clowns, but that didn't stop me from covering the circus that came to town this week. The night began innocently enough under the big top. As the lively crowd gathered and the circus commenced, the atmosphere was one of pure joy and relaxation. The sights and sounds of the circus were a sight to behold. Clark briefly escorted me there. We had plans to meet later for a farewell party for our two colleagues, known as the Fleischer brothers, who breathed life into the Daily Planet and made everything possible behind the scenes. The carnival barker, Jack Popeye Mercer, did a great job entertaining the crowd. I expressed to Clark my initial disappointment at what seemed like a mundane assignment. After all, circuses are not uncommon. We have them all over the U.S. It's not like we are in another dimension where the best circuses come from, let's say, Canada. Clark had to leave for his own assignment as the show began. Still, it was a moment of blissful distraction from the stresses of daily life. Scary clowns, elephants, and playful kids waving pennants filled the midway. Little did we know that this tranquility would be shattered by an unexpected and monstrous guest. A moment of terror struck when a tiny monkey, fumbling with a metal ring, unwittingly triggered a chain of events that would release the huge ape known as Gigantic from its cage. The sudden silence that fell over the crowd as we realized something was amiss was only a prelude to the shocking appearance of the colossal creature. Growling and menacing, the giant gorilla sent everyone running for their lives. In the midst of the pandemonium, other animals, like stampeding elephants, added to the chaos. Gigantic's strength was unlike any ordinary gorilla, swiftly overpowering the brave souls who attempted to subdue him. 6 or perhaps even more men could not tame this beast, and their attempts only resulted in Gigantic tossing his cage cart at them, leaving them no choice but to flee. The sheer terror that washed over the audience was palpable, and I couldn't help but wonder how in the world they managed to cage this creature in the first place, given its formidable might. The only thing separating us from this behemoth was a lock, which a much smaller, less intimidating monkey released. The crowd scurried in total panic, much like a group of mice, in all directions out of the big top. I tried to capture the moment with my Kodachrome camera for the Daily Planet. It was during these heart-pounding moments that I found myself face to face with the colossal creature. A young girl was trapped on the edge of the bleachers, and with no thought for my own safety, I ran between the creature and the little child to help her escape the approaching giant ape. I lifted her up, put her on the bleachers, and quickly sent her out of harm's way. The situation grew even more dire as the beast turned its attention towards me. Unbeknownst to me, the heroic policemen of Metropolis had arrived on the scene. The tent further descended into utter anarchy as elephants, lions, and a rogue panther ran amok, attacking anyone unfortunate enough to cross their paths. I stood my ground, determined to protect the innocent, but the massive creature advanced menacingly. I could hear the police start shooting willy-nilly with their submachine guns. I truly hope they don't injure any innocent bystanders.
This is a job for Superman.
I made my way up the ladder of the main tent pole, with Gigantic also on my tail. I tried using the momentum of the ladder and the ape to push him backward, but I wasn't strong enough, and I got hit by the beast. Fortunately, I wasn't hit hard enough, and I just got woozy, remaining semi-conscious for a while. However, hope was not lost. Arriving with impeccable timing, Superman confronts and wrestled with the gorilla, which for some reason kept fluctuating in size. But during the fight, one of the tent poles falls down and hits a power circuit, starting a fire. I watched from the high wire platform as Superman went toe-to-toe with the gorilla. All I kept thinking during the brawl was that Superman has a great butt. I was dazed and confused from getting hit in the head, okay? Superman continued the fight with Gigantic, trading blow for blow. The tent pole teetered precariously with me still on the platform. Finally, Superman executed a decisive move, carrying the large monkey on his back and tossing it into a net. Superman used ropes to secure the beast. After successfully tying the gorilla in the net, Superman came to my rescue at the last possible moment, as he always does, just as the tent pole was on the verge of toppling over. Quick note, I caught a slight glimpse of Superman changing into a civilian disguise. I did not get to see his face, but I still have a hunch about who he might be pretending to be.
Lucky Lois. Always gets her story.
And luckily, she lives to ride it.
Thanks to Superman.
Although their names may be unfamiliar to some people, Max and Dave Fleischer created an extraordinary legacy at the Daily Planet and coined the famous phrase, "faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to soar higher than any plane." They helped me become a better journalist and were even nominated for an Academy Award for being the first to capture Superman in flight for the very first time. Although the two brothers were not on speaking terms when they left the Daily Planet behind, we owe them a debt of gratitude. Despite both Max and Dave producing phenomenal work for the Daily Planet and earning critical acclaim, the Fleischers were broke both financially and in their family relationships. Just between you and me, my dear diary, word has it that the very married Dave began playing patty cake with his secretary, Jessica Rabbit. Consequently, the Fleischers began warring and were incapable of cooperating, ultimately refusing to speak to each other. For security purposes, the Daily Planet required each Fleischer to draft letters of resignation that could be used if the brothers' animosity got out of hand. Is working with family a good idea? You tell me. Until next time, my dear diary, yours, Lois Lane.